Tonight on H News.
The mother of a murdered Adelaide teenager Lewis McPherson hopes to make a difference.
A water safety message for South Australian swimmers urging them to stay safe ahead of summer.
Somerton Yacht Club battles threats of being closed down.
South Australian Museum is digitising its artefacts in a bid to protect their longevity.
And all the excitement behind this year's Credit Union Christmas pageant. Your news delivered first. Stay with us.
News that matters. Stories that break from around the state. See it first delivered to you daily. This is the Channel 8 News League. Adelaide's most competitive news. With Sam Okely and Jack Mason.
Good evening. Leading the news tonight. The mother of a murdered Adelaide teenager Lewis McPherson hopes a new mentoring program will prevent other families from experiencing similar grief. The program will be run at Lewis's former high school by the Sammy D Foundation.
With summer fast approaching, authorities are pleading with swimmers to pay more attention to their safety. New figures show a staggering number of water-related deaths in both men and boys.
The weather is beautiful and the water beckons, but beneath the surface lies a frightening reality. The Royal Life Saving Society says last year across the country 260 people drowned, 80% of them were male.
There's certainly the over 18s that they'll go out at weekends, hot days, they tend to drink more alcohol than probably they're used to.
And they say the figures for South Australia are just as stark.
They're quite similar to the rest of Australia, with about 85% of males being responsible for the total of all drownings.
In with going out on boats, jet skis, they'll take an esky full of beer, and obviously the more alcohol, the more risk takers.
There's not much disagreement from those in that category.
Probably say that males just are a bit quicker to jump the ball and then they get into trouble.
Water safety experts say it's not rocket science. Alcohol or drugs and water simply don't mix.
Comfortable, I guess, being in and around water, and it's had a bit of experience, whether that's a bit of tuition or belongs to some sort of swimming club.
In becoming a proficient swimmer and developing a rational approach to the water, these high drowning rates can be prevented. And those who patrol our beaches say you can help save your own life.
Ask people to think, don't drink, stay alive and survive.
Jack Mason, Channel 8 News. After the biggest response to a community consultation in the local council's area's history, the Somerton Yacht Club has just had its lease renewed after threats of being closed down. The Yacht Club and council are now working towards securing a long-term future for the 60-year-old site.
The Somerton Yacht Club has been given new hope after a lengthy battle to renew its lease. Some residents say the 60-year-old building is an eyesore. The council put it to a vote.
It was following a community consultation where 3,800 voted to keep it there and 68 wanted them gone.
There's also concern the building creates a traffic hazard, but its supporters are clearly in the majority.
It's been there ever since I was a kid growing up at Somerton, and I think it's good for the community.
Yacht clubs are a fabric of society and important to be here.
The Mayor hopes the new council will help both the club and its detractors sort things out.
But I would hope that the new councillors would sit down with the residents and try and find common ground where we could achieve what they wanted as much as possible, as well as what the Yacht Club would like.
The Yacht Club is adamant that their plans will ensure a long-term future for both the community and the club.
Yes, we've already got plans there which have already been presented to council in a rough sort of form, but now that we've got the 5 years we can do a bit more about it.
Jaki Woods, Channel 8 News.
Museums may become digital dinosaurs if they don't pick up their game and innovate. Reports show that Australian museums are lagging behind other countries, risking their relevance in the future.
While technology moves forward at an astonishing rate, it's feared our museums are struggling to keep up.
One of the most difficult things to do is really understand what all that broad array of possibilities are.
Putting museum objects online is considered the best place to start, yet only a quarter of Australian museum collections are digital.
Digitisation and putting it online actually creates a great interest in the collections that the museum has and the stories that are held within those collections.
A handful of Australian museums are leading the way, such as the National Museum, which uses robots to guide online visitors through its exhibitions. That means anyone can see them, especially those in remote or rural areas.
So we've travelled from Murray Bridge today, and so it would be a really valuable resource to have so that the kids could get an idea about what they might see.
But for others, a trip to the museum is about getting out with the family.
For us, it's all about getting her away from TV screens and computers and letting her come and experience the real thing.
Museums are finding new ways to interact with their visitors, but according to research by the CSIRO, the key is to put digital at the core, not just as an add-on activity.
The museum that embraces digitisation will flourish and prosper and really connect with all its audiences, whereas I think those museums who don't do that will probably find that they may sort of retreat and their audiences will shrink.
Cathryn Kempe, Channel 8 News.
Families across South Australia are beginning to dust off their Christmas decorations, ready for the official start to Christmas, the pageant. Pageant helpers are working hard too to make sure everything's ready for November the 8th.
For many South Australians, the Christmas season hasn't begun until they've seen the Credit Union Christmas pageant.
You know, it just brings Christmas home and you get all excited about it. And we always run home and put up all our Christmas decorations the same day.
And for Veronica Misfud, the pageant is so important she arrives at 3 a.m. each year to secure her spot.
I think I've been to in excess of 50, definitely more than 50. The only reason I miss them is being in hospital, really.
Pageant helpers are working overtime to make sure that everything's ready for the big day.
We start about early February and we go right through till now.
Some will be working hard on pageant day too.
We follow Father Christmas in a breakdown van, so he's got to get through. I'm sort of we're in our overalls and we're working that day.
This year marks another great milestone in the Credit Union Christmas pageant, with crowd favourite Nimble turning 100 years old. Now one very lucky little girl will get to ride Nimble through the streets of Adelaide before he makes his home in the Magic Cave. He's been redeveloped many times since its original cast was made a century ago. The pageant is all about happiness, and the theme this year aims to spread that.
It's called Share the Pageant with Someone You Love. Now the pageant's an icon.
I'll share it with my little girl.
I like the bands more than anything.
I really like when at the end when Santa comes.
The pageant really is a magical day for everyone. Casey Gregory, Channel 8 News.
Jackie has all the weather details. How's the state looking for the rest of the week?
Thanks, Sam. It was a beautiful spring day today in Adelaide, and it looks like it's here to stay over the weekend. Now, to today's weather in the city. The mercury only dropped to 13 degrees around 5:30 this morning, and top temperatures range from 26 in the city to 19 in Mount Lofty late this afternoon. And right now in the city, it's still a lovely 26 with an expected drop at 8 p.m. Looking ahead, we're in for a sunny week where tomorrow will be a touch warmer with a forecast up of 27. Very much the same over the weekend and 29 tipped for Tuesday, before returning back to 26 midweek. Back to you.
Casey's got the latest updates in sport. So Casey, how are the 36ers looking ahead of this weekend's game?
Well, Sam, they'll be heading into their game against Melbourne United on Saturday night with a bit of confidence. United haven't had the strongest start to their season, but they'll be looking to bounce back in this game. Adelaide's coach Joey Wright will have the boys focused to get the job done. And in soccer, Adelaide United will also be looking for another win on Saturday as they take on the Wellington Phoenix, who are only just trailing them on the ladder. Now we're hoping fan favourite Sergio Cirio will be able to find the back of the net again this weekend to help get the Reds over the line. And to netball, the Adelaide Thunderbirds are anxiously awaiting star Jamaican shooter Carla Borrego's Australian citizenship to come through. Now they've already filled their one international recruit position with English defender Ebony Beckford-Chambers, so they're banking on this citizenship to come through. But at least the Aussie Diamonds are doing well against the Silver Ferns in the Constellation Cup, so that's keeping us going. Back to you guys.
Before we go, Cathryn's got some tips for the weekend.
Thanks guys. We've got a busy weekend coming up with the British Film Festival. Its closing night is on Sunday. There'll be live entertainment, so go along to that one. There'll also be the Craft and Quilt Fair, and that's only an annual event, so make sure you get along to that. For the kids, there's going to be a Kids Film Festival, and down at Mannum in Murray Bridge, there's also steamboats on display Saturday and Sunday. For more information, you can visit our website, and for now, it's back to you guys.
That's all we have time for. Keep up to date on our local, national and international news on our Facebook or Twitter.
Join us tomorrow night as we bring you the latest headlines.
That's all we have from the Channel 8 News Desk, brought to you by UniSA News. Have a great evening.